Secession? Nullification? Well, that's for fools, tools, and mules, and I don't see no tail on you, boy.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
So when last we left our conservative friends, they were, wait for it, outraged! And what were they outraged about, you ask? You know, who knows?
In the drive-by media,
Barack Obama.
The collapse of Mexico.
The yuppie scum house flippers.
the Democrat Party.
This orgy of massive spending.
The outrage has gotten so out of control that some people are even talking about secession. Texas Governor Rick Perry invoked it last month. You know, he quickly backtracked, but a later poll showed that a full 48% of Texas Republicans thought it was a good idea. And even those who aren't talking about secession are talking about states' rights, invoking the 10th Amendment and passing state sovereignty resolutions to nullify the, quote, illegitimate acts of the federal government. What illegitimate acts, you say? Yeah, it's a good question. I'm reading Pennsylvania House Resolution 95, which is actually sponsored by a couple of local state representatives, and it demands that the federal government cease and desist, effective immediately, mandates that are beyond the scope of its constitutionally delegated powers, without actually saying what those mandates are. Now, you know, there's a good case to be made against unfunded mandates, but that's not the case that's being made here. What we're talking about here is the tyranny of the federal government imposing its will on the freedom-loving people of the world who are outraged and they're not going to take it anymore. But again, take what anymore? You have some specific examples? You know, give me a call when you do. But in the meantime, this is like a wingnut preemptive strike about what might happen, launched by people who still haven't gotten over the fact they got spanked in last fall's election. And the strange thing is, if you compare the rhetoric now to the rhetoric the last time the country got to talking about states' rights, back in the civil rights era, you'll notice some striking similarities. Rick Perry, for example, talks about the millions of Texans who are tired of Washington, D.C. trying to come down here and tell us how to run Texas. Then you had Governor George Wallace of Alabama talking about how, quote, from this day we are standing up and the heel of tyranny does not fit on the neck of an upright man. Perry and Wallace might not have been motivated by the same cause, but the rhetoric and the rationale is exactly the same. Whatever the country deems just and proper shall not apply to us. We shall make our own rules. We're going to take our ball and go home. Didn't work in the 1960s, didn't work in the 1860s, and it ain't going to work now.
If Washington continues to thumb their nose at the American people, you know, who knows what may come out of that.